how can you tell when a virtual agent is struggling?
Well, obviously you can't see them, right? So you don't see what's going on or people being concerned. So it's interesting. So we talk about emotional intelligence, and what emotional intelligence is, it's not like you're psychic. It's that your brain is able to identify behavioral patterns. Some people can do it faster than others. And one of the things we do in our virtual live labs is we have a learning forum that actually teaches people on the job while they're working with their teams real time in the virtual live labs how to walk the virtual floor. And part of that is being able to identify behavioral patterns. And so if you have an agent that's struggling and you can't see them, what behavioral patterns are you looking for? So I would say they are not talking as much as they used to. So instead of the whole paragraph, you get one-liners, or they're late. Their stats are slipping, or you're looking at your team chat and people are like, where's Bob? Where's Bob? Have you seen Bob? Well, Bob's always there. Where the heck's Bob, right? So there's a change in behavioral patterns. When an agent asks, let's say Bob has been helping with nesting folks that have come into his team, and they're asking a question and Bob's not jumping on it like he normally does, a change in behavior. Some people will actually recognize that faster than others, but you can train your brain. And there's techniques that we teach to do that in the virtual live labs where you can literally be able to hone in on that very, very quickly. Now, there's two things to do with that. The first one is the direct approach. And I would caution people to do this. One of the things I hear a lot of first line leaders say is, oh, my team loves working for me. We're like this. Well, it doesn't really matter what you think. It's what the agents think, right? So before you jump in and pick up the phone and say, hey, what's going on? You used to talk more and you don't. You really have to make sure that that relationship is really concrete. If you're not sure, or it's not, you might try approach number 2. And that is the third party tool. And this is literally how to get your point across faster and builds momentum. So nobody wants their manager coming in and identifying a behavioral pattern, basically saying you're bad, because that's the way they usually receive it. So again, it's not what you think as a supervisor, it's how they're receiving it as an agent. And so by utilizing a third-party stories, and there's 2 kinds of third-party stories, and I use this I talk about it in my book, it's tool number 7. And this is literally about telling a story about somebody in the same situation. And therefore it gives Bob or Mary or whoever your agent is permission to be the same, because everybody sort of wants the same and they can relate to that. So instead of a direct approach, which you could use, you can try a more subtle approach and use tool number 7 in my book, the Leadership Toolbox, and use a third-party story. And this is the way you can build momentum faster, get egos out of the way so you really can connect with your agent. And that's how I would identify and what I would do with a struggling agent when I can't see them in a virtual environment. Hope that answered that question.
That's perfect. It works with kids too. I use it with my kids often to encourage them, tell them somebody else's story. It's great.